Hey everybody, it's Monday again, and that means it's time for the sign-by-sign breakdown of your tarot forecast. So today, I think we're going to kind of flip-flop it, and we're going to start on the back end of the zodiac with Libra going first, and then we're just going to follow it all the way around. So let's see, today I am working with the Cat Tarot. Check it. It's a very cute deck. We've got watercolor illustrations of cats. Makes it fun. There's also Dog Tarot by the same artist, and I have that deck too. So maybe we'll use that next week. So our first sign this week on August 10th, 2026 is Libra. Alrighty, Libra, you have got the Four of Pentacles this week. Check it out. Alright, we got this card for Libra. So, Libra, my fun, scaly friends, what do we got this week? Well, we've got a sense of needing to get real clear on what's yours and what you own. So I think it's time for a bit of an audit of your finances and also your material possessions. So taking a look at, alright, what do I actually have? What kind of stores do I have to pay for stuff, but also what do I have? Because the Pentacles, I usually describe them as things, money and the things money can buy, but I heard another really good interpretation of the Pentacles recently that I think I might start incorporating. It's when things are made tangible. It's all tangible things, and I mean, we've known that is a thing, but I think perhaps that phrasing, it's all other things made tangible, is a really good way to wrap your mind around what is Pentacles energy. And for you, Libra, it's a very Pentacle-y week. I'm taking a look at what do I own, what do I have access to, and yeah, just kind of holding on to what you own rather clearly. Libra, this is not the week to be making a big purchase. Just check on your savings, look at your investments, look at projections, all that kind of stuff. This is just more of an auditing kind of time frame for you. Next up, we've got Scorpio. So, Scorpio, what kind of week are we looking at for you? Scorpio, you've got the High Priestess this week, which, as a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, anywhere important in your big three or even your big six, because why not? High Priestess energy is very familiar to you. I know Scorpio is typically associated with the Death card, and yeah, Death energy is pretty commonplace to you as well. But let's talk a bit about the High Priestess and who is she? She is your intuition, and she is how you engage with all of the abstract things and all of the unknowns, hence the moon. All of that moony, deep, intuitive, abstract stuff. Scorpio, you're Scorpin this week. You are leaning all the way into all the things that make you Scorpio. So all things deeply intuitive and really willing to engage with the parts of life that are kind of on the other side of the veil, so to speak. So yeah, Scorpio, you may be getting some key insights and downloads this week. You might be feeling your intuition go into overdrive, and you might be feeling a bit more connection to all the things that aren't necessarily tangible or explainable. So yeah, in a lot of ways, you're having a very different week than Libra is, because while Libra is kind of doing a little bean counting and like, okay, I'm going to move this money here and I'm going to move that account there, you're not concerned with the material realm this week. You're spending this week in the other realm. So for you, yeah, things are not tangible. Things are very abstract, they're very layered, they're very complex and nuanced, and that's the part of life that you are exploring this week. Scorpio, we have Sagittarius, our adventurous archer whose birthday sometimes gets a little eclipsed by the holiday season. I know Capricorn does too. Christmas is actually in Capricorn season, but Sag, I get it. Happens to you too. Alright. What's going on for you as all this energy over in Leo is trining your Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever that Sag happens to be for you? Sagittarius, you've actually pulled two cards. Two came up. So your initial was this Queen of Wands. But you got a little bit of a clarifier in our Nine of Cups. So how are we going to read these two cards together? Well, Here's how. We're going to first take a look at this Queen of Wands as who you're being called to be this week. You're being called to be feisty. Don't back down, don't take crap. You are pushing back this week, and you are being pretty honest and pretty straight up about what it is you want to bring into your world. And what is that? Well, things that light you up, that get you a little excited, that make you really lean into your creativity. So yeah, you are on this week. Oh boy, indeed are you on. And with what? 9 of Cups. So, how are you on? What are you on doing? Well, putting your wishes and hopes out there. Letting your pipe dreams, not letting your dreams be dreams, and not letting them be memes either. Sag, you are delusional and daydreaming in the best sort of way this week. So when I mentioned all that Leo energy trining up your Sagittarius placement, yeah, trines are a beautiful thing. Think of a trine in astrology kind of like a musical chord. It's both the energies are there, they're working together, and yeah, this trine is hitting that Sag placement of yours. So, all right, Sag, you have something you want? You have something you've always desired? Speak it out there this week. Put it out there. Make it happen, because you're a feisty badass who can make it happen. So, all right, everybody watch out. Sagittarius, they're on a bit of a roll this week. Let them do their thing. Capricorn, the other sign whose birthday tends to get eclipsed by the holiday season. What's happening for you guys this week? You have got the Ace of Pentacles. So, this is another example of a sign pulling a card that is very familiar for them and very doable. Capricorn, I think you're starting something new this week that is going to pay off for you big time, but delayed gratification. So when will it pay off? Next year, 5 years, 10 years. But hey, you gotta plant the seed somewhere, right? How do you get a big giant indeterminate vining tomato plant in August? Well, by planting the seeds in February. So this is your February. This is your seed starting season. So Cap, don't be afraid to start something new, because that's how big, beautiful things start. Every oak tree was an acorn once, right? And yeah, I guess I can keep using the plant imagery. I don't have to, but in any case, Cap, plant the seed, pull the trigger, do the thing. Even if it's $100 you dump in an investment, that's what you're doing this week. You are starting small, knowing that it's not going to stay small forever. After Capricorn, we have Aquarius, our other Saturn-ruled friend. It's happening for all the water bearers out there. Aquarius, you have got the 5 of Swords this week. You know, it's not always going to be easy, but notice how this gray cat is looking away from the white cat and the calico. You're not going to see eye to eye with people this week. You might feel a bit of your ideas are at odds with other people's ideas. Your insights are very at odds with perhaps what other people believe or choose to believe or interpreted certain events, certain pieces of information, anything like that. Aquarius, you know, if anyone had to pull this card, at least you pulled it. Because you're pretty used to being on the ideological outskirts of social groups. Sometimes that's how new social groups start. Other times it's how you get labeled a weirdo. Probably both have happened to you, honestly, if you've got significant Aquarius placements. And they might have even happened simultaneously. Like, both things can be true. Aquarius, yeah. Don't bend your will to just go along with the crowd this week. You're going to be kind of on the outskirts, and just know that, you know what you saw, you know what you heard, you know what you experienced. Please understand that even if no one else agrees with that experience or wants to follow you in the direction you're going, your thoughts are valid. And yeah, you know your truth, which I don't have to say because you've been living that life your whole life, haven't you? All right. All right, Pisces. Another one who might get labeled a weirdo, but maybe they're a little less likely to embrace it. And sometimes they are. I mean, they're not gonna embrace it, but I think they're gonna deal with that a little bit differently. All right, Pisces. We have got our Six of Cups. So, Pisces, we got Six of Cups. You are doing a bit of looking back and a bit of emotional balancing as you do a bit of looking back. You're reflecting on your past, you're feeling all the good feels, possibly feeling some of the bad feels, but nonetheless you're feeling. And even when they're not rainbow and sunshine, there's still something that really makes you feel comforted and made you feel secure. I mean, you're the fish. Of course the fish likes to be surrounded by water. That's what this card is. It's a lot of water surrounding you, holding you, supporting you, all of those lovely things. And yeah, possibly recontextualizing or bringing things back up to interpretation for you. But you are surrounded by it. In any case, you are absolutely surrounded by all the good feels, all the support, just a lot of emotional stuff this week, but in a really positive way, a way that makes you feel understood and overall, yeah, happily reflective. I like it for you. And also that's exactly where Pisces, I think, wants to always be, but yeah. All right, next up we got Aries. Aries, you have got the Five of Swords, just like Aquarius. So I could just recut this video to repeat everything I said for Aquarius, but I'm going to reinterpret this specifically for Aries because you are a cardinal fire sign. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. You're both going to kind of grapple with this a little bit differently. And is it any coincidence that as an Aquarius sun, Aries moon, I have now pulled both of these? So is this doubly relevant for me? I think possibly. But in any case, we have got a bit of an outskirts, a bit of a different ideas, different perspectives, kind of feeling like you don't see eye to eye with everybody. And yeah, possibly feeling a little bit isolated by that. Now, I think for you, there's a strong sense of independence that inevitably is going to come with feelings of isolation sometimes, because when you're a trendsetter and a groundbreaker, yeah, the first one on the cutting edge sometimes gets a little lonely over on the cutting edge, but I don't think you embrace the label of weirdo so much as you embrace the label of trendsetter or groundbreaker. And I think you might be processing this card and everything that it brings for you this week in that way, the sense of like, everybody's eventually going to see my perspective, they just haven't caught up yet. And that could be, but in any case, yeah, this is the energy of this week for you. It's a sense of, I'm not seeing eye to eye with everybody. I'm a little bit on the outs. All right, next up we got Taurus. You've got the Knight of Swords. All right, Taurus, embrace what you know this week and then push your knowledge further. You are learning and you're being a student and yeah, doing all those things. But yeah, push it a little further. You might be kind of getting comfortable. Think about that Dunning-Kruger effect, kind of the less you know about something, the more you think you do, and then as you go a little further, then the more you realize how much more there is to learn about your given subject. So yeah, take this as a time to learn, because you're learning quite a bit, and I think it's serving you quite well. So enjoy the intellectual exercise this week. Then we got Gemini. Hi, you've got Judgment this week. All right, you might end up feeling a little judged this week. You might end up feeling like you are waiting to be heard and understood, and yeah, you might feel like maybe things that you've said and done are being judged, and those might all be happening at the same time. Okay, so you're being judged. How relevant is it? Maybe it's actually kind of relevant. Maybe you've applied for jobs and now you're waiting to hear back from the hiring manager. Maybe you are, otherwise in a collaborative scenario, maybe at work, and yeah, other people need to review your work and get back to you on what needs to come next. So in any case, Gemini, we're all going to get the Judgment card sometimes, and for you, that's this week. So yeah, take the constructive feedback in a way that's actually going to help you, because you're getting some constructive feedback this week. And also it is meant to help you. Like, if it's for work stuff, yeah, they want to improve your stuff. If it's for getting a job, okay, I hope you get the job, but just know you're under the microscope this week, Gemini. You're being judged, you're being looked at, you're being graded, all of those things. You're on a rubric. Next up we have Cancer. Cancer the crab. Justice! All right. Cancer the crab, you are the one doing the judging this week and the one doling out of the justice. Yeah, I often, in a traditional setting, this card has a figure who looks quite a bit like a judge. And that's really kind of how I tend to read the difference between judgment and justice. That justice, you're the one metering out the judgment. Judgment, you tend to be getting judged. And now that's not always the case, but I think in this case, yeah. Cancer, you are the judge this week. You may need to do things that are really meter out your will and just kind of show others what's what. And maybe you do need to bite a hand. And maybe it's a hand that feeds you. Maybe you had to bite that hand. But yeah, that happened. So be bold, be brave. You gotta stand up for yourself. And that's really, I think, key to what you're doing this week, because you're not acting irrationally or just being reactionary. You weighed out all the factors. That's what the Justice card really is about. It's, you thought about it, you considered it, and then you acted in a way that was in accordance with what you've really metered out for yourself. All right, next up we've got Leo. Leo, you have got the Six of Pentacles. It's all about fairness this week. How are you sharing your resources? Remember how we talked about Pentacles are everything made tangible? Well, how are you sharing what's tangible in your world? How are you taking a profit for yourself, but also providing for others in your vicinity? You're doing a lot of balancing. You're doing a lot of very material, tangible supporting this week. And yeah, you may feel like you kind of got to be the provider, and yeah, you kind of are this week. So understand that role, embrace that role, know that you're supporting yourself and you're supporting others. There's a lot of materials kind of coming out of you this week because you're maintaining the balance and making sure that multiple parties are cared for. So that's you. We've got our Six of Pentacles. So hello. And then we've got our very last sign for this week. We've got Virgo. So let's take a look. What is happening for all the Virgos in the audience? And by Virgos, I do mean Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, Virgo Rising, all those guys. Those who've joined us a bit later, the reason why we're ending with Virgo is because we started with Libra. Every week when I do these, we always start at a different point because Aries doesn't always need to go first. Queen of Cups for Virgo. Cool. So, Virgo, you're doing a lot of listening this week. You're doing a lot of taking in other people's emotions and even just, I think, taking stock of your own emotions too. It's a lot of receptivity in the emotional, intuitive world. And it's really not all that different from your friend Scorpio, except for Scorpio, it's going to be a little more sussing out, a little more abstract. For you, I think it's going to be a lot more waves of emotional grounding. A bit more comfort, a bit more in the here and now versus kind of on the other plane. And yeah, Virgo, you're having a cozy week. You might be providing coziness for others, or you might be just having a cozy week on your own. In any case, it's a very restorative week for you, Virgo, which, as the sign who's largely associated with health and wellness and just the body kind of in general, it's a good thing for you. So yeah, book that spa sesh, go to the beach, drink your green juice, whatever you, Virgo, do. You probably do all of those things, but yeah, for you, Virgo, that's your keyword this week, is it's restorative. You're restoring yourself through doing exactly what this gray cat is doing. So all right, thank you all for tuning in for this week's edition of the OMG Tarot Forecast. I hope you got some really high quality insight for this week, and I hope it helps you get through these next couple days. So yeah, as always, if you want an individual reading, hit me up, and otherwise we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.